we we just went to the Twigs. Of course, it's Monday here in Sturgis. The library is closed on Monday, and many other functions. Okay, so we had a bit of extra walking, and we ended up coming back in a remarkable area with which one expects to be housing, but then it's just snowbanks. And then arrive at the train tracks and walk to the road up here. I forget what the name of the road is. We started on Arthur Street, I think it is, and then went to the library area and then the Twigs. We saw maybe the main could be an operator, the manager, and the waitress, both of them beautiful, really wonderful, and some team of persons, and there aren't that much. A couple eating a nice meal. A young woman, a regular woman, okay, quite attractive, having a coffee or something, and then the British Parliament was on, which I'm sometimes looking for on the machine over there. The Philips. To see their Parliament is like a ship, a traditional British ship, and it's one of the most interesting things a person can watch. Then they're talking about. Some years ago, I spoke to my friend in the United States about that company that started and raised money that was named Bree something, and that company had a lot of difficulties and then closed. And it was we could put that out the window. We don't prefer it, actually. We keep me alive and well and happy, healthy. I don't have anything to do with it, but they were promoting that very heavily at that time, and it was really a poor mischief that went very high in shares, and then it hadn't any gold. It was in another country near some very great countries that I like to research quite a bit, and I guess they had some mischief. Anyways, then there's three pictures. The second picture is that the Porcupine area raised the price of gold in the 1980s up to $1,000. Up to very, very high, much higher than it had been. And the price of silver also. And we bought some silver. I bought some silver at that time. And I don't know too much about that. More, it's interesting to have new information about childhood or youth events. That is a different perspective from. But at that time, the prices of those minerals eventually returned to quite a low level, and is only just a little bit above that now. It's years and years later. Many years. Some octopus, probably my sister from London, Ontario, is making a interjection of a negative type of sound. They have quite a lot of layers of communication, and we resist and refuse and call out any of those layers that are offensive to us. Then currently we have been managing a Canadian Childcast program that looks at the Canadian future. The child is a part of the family that is used for training their brother or sister or something, sometimes against their will. Sometimes the person would not be used. Don't use me that way. And if the family impose it, that's a type of a wrong. Quite a bit substantial wrong, really. That carries on for a while. I had some examples. We have many, libraries of examples. Large numbers of examples of those types of things. Then the person, Canada, let's say the entity Canada, is a country that has that function to find a way for that person. They strive to have children, like the Hudson Bay, the big fat belly. And their situation is presented in that Lake Superior, where their hair might be representing the intellect, is being compromised or pulled by some portion south of the lake. To another little lake. Presumably, if it's a family model, the family have had a baby, maybe the brother or sister's family, and they are using the person heavily against their will without their consent. Okay, pushing them to their work, which you can see at some of the lakes that are a bit to the east. Okay, over there, and the Lake Superior, the Great Lakes. Okay, then. And that person is set upon the Hudson Bay. Like, really, they want to have children, and they look very gentle. They have a very nice, disposition or presentation. We don't say we say position. They have a very nice position. Nice. Not pleasant to work for their family that way, but they want to have, a good day. Then that's the Canadian Day, and this is a change from the 19th century, which is a terror for the Canadian child caste. Just a devastation and a horrible day. Foul and ruin. All the big people of the world ducked. And, they left the monarchy and they closed up a bunch of stuff for a century. And then we would like to reopen the good things, and we would like to. Maybe we don't need the monarchy too much. In Canada, we don't have that. We don't seem to need it. We don't have it actively, even though they are our great supporter. Our family is a model of that family, and our sponsorship comes from them. But the path of it it doesn't necessarily say this way or that way. It says that we'll make a model to the future, and then the people of the countries will follow according to their, I don't know, mostly they follow the model, or anyway, something like that. It tends to balance a lot. And what we found is that it's been stolen by the administrators, who are the same people who created that gold situation, and the same people who created that company. And now the name in Britain of the policies that they're looking at happen to be very similar, to that company. And I believe it's rising from a conversation I had with the American president a few years ago, on the phone, to do with that. Anyway, the importance of it is, or no, just in my imagination, But we can look and say that Canada, the Canadian caste of person, their time is now, is the 28-20 period, where people learn to see. That is a giant pivot moment for the Canadian caste of person worldwide. We need to make that day important for our geography, plus our nation. We need that nation rising, Canada, in a way of productivity and producing, not maybe they have a 2 or 3 hour after work, and they build a community center that's available to any creature or any person, and able to lift somebody up from where they are to somewhere higher, somewhere where they're dreaming. If they are stuck underneath some part of their family, it's somehow bringing them to the Hudson Bay, like more babies. If they are plagued by shows that are offensive to them and cause distress to their reaching the things that they are striving for, then they would save them from that and keep them safe and keep them somehow managed. If our society exists with a cap, sometimes it's like capitalism or a downdraft, sometimes it's like a community, like the expense it costs some $100 for this and some $100 for that, each month, like that. And the weight of it is a certain weight, and the income is not that much all the time. So sometimes that's a way to get people to move forward. Somebody from a country, like from a caste that's described by a different country, would say, like somebody on the who is the heir master caste of the family, or somebody who is the maybe a person who follows every detail of the family, but is sometimes like an Australian caste. Those persons might look at that and have an opinion, but they are like a kind of a weight on the Canadian caste. The Canadian caste needs a path that lets them have their food every day. Maybe from the seal, or maybe from fish, or maybe from the forest or the farm. Then the person needs to be able to find the people that they will have that with, and it could arrive, toward us in the form of a business, in the form of social relations, creative work. Okay, and they interact with other people so that they are able to build, the person, the family, or the entity, organization that they wish that will be productive to reach that Hudson Bay type of satisfaction, community, achievement of long ambition for really a nice home. Oh, that is what we are striving for. Canada, we started working on that for a lot of years, and we thought that's a good objective. If we have a wife, and if we have kids, if we have a house, if we have income, then those are the things we can measure them. To say we were successful, we have achieved that. And it's very easy. Somebody might say, everybody, achieve that. Oh, it's so difficult. Really, it's so... And the layers of control are like you see at the Great Lakes. Some of it is a physical interaction. Some of it is tension, where the person is, looking. And some of it is something like intellectual control. Like the battle is on the person's intellect. And sometimes we talk about that, the layers of language. Where there's something that is an octopus, a layer of communication on the words, and we are extracting that. We are wanting to pull that octopus layer out so that the person can really achieve their own objective. A real type of what we would call liberty. Maybe we can make some new words for that. Martin Holmes, Sturgeo, Ontario. It is January 21, 2018 +1.